Welcome to Feeling, Being, Soothing. My name is Ariane Rice, and I'm delighted that you have joined me for this solo episode where I'm going to reflect on some thoughts I wanted to share after my conversation with Estelle Frankel, psychotherapist and author of the book, The Wisdom of Not Knowing. And if you're watching this episode, did you know you can watch it? Because you can on YouTube or Spotify. You may wonder, well, why did she introduce herself as the Reverend Ariane Rice? Because today, for the very first time ever, I am wearing my clerical collar as I record this episode. And I doubt you'll be surprised to know that is not by accident. It was an intentional choice because it relates to what I wanted to reflect on with you today. How do we embrace not knowing? The full title of Estelle Frankel's book is The Wisdom of Not Knowing, Discovering a Life of Wonder by Embracing Uncertainty. Embracing the unknown, wrapping your arms around that which you cannot control, well, that's not something we're pretty much ever taught to do. I mean, we come by it naturally as wise little children, but eventually we fall in line and we learn what's modeled for us each and every day. Plan your life, plan your day, write a list, figure it out. Avoid uncertainty by thinking and thinking about the future, and for a lot of us, by worst case scenario planning so you can be prepared. Sound familiar? I know that's a lot of what used to occupy my brain space. So how do we move a little at a time towards letting go of that mental grip of trying to control the future, which is something we cannot do? Well, I want to offer you two practices that not only are really easy and very doable to fit into your busy, busy day. They're not only doable, simple practices, but they also center you as the expert in your life, because you are the one who can best take care of you. And letting go of what you cannot control is a really compassionate, and I would say spiritually mature way of being in the world. It is a way to care for yourself, to be more present to your life and what is. And you may be surprised to find that if you embody this sort of behavior, the people around you, well, it can have a surprisingly profound impact on everyone else. So here's one simple way that I think you can have fun with. We don't often think of practices, spiritual or professional development, as fun, but it can be. It's good for them to be, because it's good for us to have a little joy in this work. It's quite simple. Just show up differently than you have before. Like this: I'm wearing my collar. I am showing up in this conversation as a priest. I'm sure there are spaces and places where you could show up a little bit differently than you have before. A lot of us try to compartmentalize our life. When I'm in this situation, I'm this person. When I'm in that situation, I'm that person. But the truth is, we are all the parts. And so maybe you want to do a little experiment and see what it's like to show up as another identity that you don't generally bring out. Have a little fun with this and show up differently than what you think people expect. Now, if you're a clergy person listening to this, then I know that one of the biggest dilemmas you, like me, have wrestled with when you first became ordained is when and where do I wear my clergy collar? You ask your colleagues all the time, are you going to wear your collar to that? Is that something I'm supposed to wear my collar to? Because putting it on broadcasts something to the world about your identity and about who you are and what you do. And while I know and you know that nobody thinks about us as much as we tend to think they do, we often spend a lot of time worrying about what other people will think, wondering, how will they see me? And it's called trying to manage other people's perceptions of who we are. And it comes up against our internal perceptions of who it is we want to be. Now, I know I am not the only clergy person who has felt the feeling that I do not deserve to wear this collar. I'm not good enough to be a priest. You hear that time and time again when people tell the story of what called them into this line of work. Who, me? I mean, I know that early on, as a woman who was raised Roman Catholic, quite honestly, I was scared of wearing this collar because all my life I had been told women are not priests. I'd been told it is wrong for a woman to be a priest. And while sure, there was a little bit of like, look at me, I'm breaking the rules when I first became a clergy person and, saw my family when I was wearing this. Deep down, that's not how I was feeling. Deep down, I was feeling scared because I was feeling like there would be people who would see me and think, that's wrong. She's wrong. Believe it or not, I've even been in circumstances where someone has said to me while I'm wearing my collar, I don't believe in women priests. It comes as a little bit of a surprise, but I survived it. It was fine. That's on them. It has nothing to do with me. I have been doing this work for a very long time. And at this point in my career, I know that I am worthy of this collar just as the human being that I am. Priests are people. We are not perfect. There is no way that you can be a facilitator of the work of Brene Brown, which I've done for almost 10 years, without doing a lot of your own work around shame and vulnerability and calling on some courage. And that means a lot of deep dives into the stories that you are making up, how you worry about what other people think of you, how you worry about how they see you. And when you do the work on those stories, when you get them out of your head and onto a piece of paper and start examining with some compassionate curiosity where they come from and why you hold them, well, most of the time you realize you don't need them, that they aren't true. That does get you a lot more comfortable with uncertainty when you start realizing how much easier it is to navigate whatever it is that shows up when you have already let go of controlling the outcome by controlling what it is other people think. Those are stories. And often enough, especially with the less than stories, they're coming from the voice of shame. It's the voice all of us have around certain things. I'm not good enough, or who do I think I am? But when we do our work with those stories, and when we think about who we actually are and what we actually have done, we hopefully come to realize, I know exactly who I am. I'm a child of God. I am a human being, and I am worthy of love and belonging just like you. That's one way to embrace uncertainty, by being more comfortable with who you are and trusting in your capabilities to navigate whatever it is you are moving through. And the second way is a simple exercise where you speak to your future self. You could type yourself an email. You could even schedule it to be sent to yourself at a future date. You could write yourself a note, kind of like if you are a parent and you have a very small child and you decide to write them a letter for when they're 18 or 21 or 50, I don't know. But even though you have no idea who it is they're going to become, no idea who it is they're going to be, you know that they will be wonderful in your eyes, no matter what it is they are doing. So do that for you. Write to yourself as if you are already on the other side of whatever it is looms in front of you that is some giant big unknown. Maybe it's the holiday gathering that is coming up that you don't want to attend or you don't want to host. Maybe it's the separation that you know is coming in the start of the new year. Maybe it is the career pivot that you are terrified of jumping into, but you know if you don't, you are really going to regret it. Or maybe it's just a hard conversation or an ask on your behalf, but it is something that you are incessantly thinking about. Stop thinking, start writing. Tell yourself everything about how you have done this before, because that is the truth about uncertainty. You've gone through uncertain times before. You have gotten to the other side of things you are worried about before. either by choice or because that's what life planned and gave you. Remind yourself of just how resourced you were then and how resourced you are now. Tell yourself about what you learned from the experience, what you gained, the wisdom that you now hold because of moving through and getting to the other side. The story you are telling yourself about what hasn't happened yet, that is a story you are writing. And if you are writing it incessantly in your head, it really starts to feel real. It really starts to dictate how you perceive your reality, but it's not real. So write it out, get it out. Tell your future self what you already know to be true. You know your strength, you know your experience, and you know your capacity to figure it out along the way. Maybe it's just because I'm wearing my collar when I record this, but regardless of church or religion or faith in any way, most people know this prayer. You know it if you have any connection with 12-step spirituality, and it's pretty much a part of our world. God, grant me the serenity to accept the things I cannot change, the courage to change the things I can, and the wisdom to know the difference. When you get a story out of your head, the story about what people do or don't think about you, the story about what will or won't happen in the future, when you look at them with some objectivity, with some curiosity, that is the work of discernment. That is wisdom work of seeing, this is what I can't control. This is what I have to let go of because it is out of my control. Most of the people I work with, they are joyfully surprised by just how much agency they have in their lives, how many resources are at their disposal, how rich their relational network is to help them navigate this particular circumstance, and how much more energy they can have in their days, how much more ease they can feel. They realize that they can let go of what they can't control, that they really don't even need to worry about it. And this is what allows for delight and joy and surprise when everything comes together, as it always does, even if it's not exactly perfect. I mean, if you think about some of the most amazing and gratifying experiences in your life, well, I bet you couldn't plan them if you had tried. Okay, that's all I've got for you on this reflection episode. And if you have come away with something that is helpful to you, I would hope you could take a minute and write a review or rate it with a star or share it with a friend. That really helps it come forward on whatever platform it is you're listening on. And if this has prompted some curiosity for you about what working together could be, either in coaching or with facilitation, then I hope you will reach out to me at ariannerice.com, because perhaps there is a way I could support you or your organization with your purpose-driven work. All right. Thanks for listening.